Greetings, everyone. Welcome. Tina Green, oh my goodness. I haven't seen you for so long. Oh, I just love that music and that visual. The eagle and the all of it just felt so right as a way to open a Earth Day celebration, and especially honoring those who have tended and protected the earth for so many thousands of years, and lifting up all the indigenous powers and efforts and stewardship that benefit all of life. So welcome, welcome. It is good to see you, my old friends. Can everyone hear me all right? Sounding okay? All right, great. I want to welcome you. I want to welcome my dear friend Judith Kate Friedman. We want to give a wave, Judith Kate, who's going to bring some just glorious music tonight. Oh, can't wait to hear her. And also I want to welcome Matthew Rose Stark. You want to give a wave, Matthew? There he is, who is a regenerative rancher. I think you've all been reading the publicity and hear all about him. And I'm just so grateful that you're here tonight, Matt, making time the farm life is not a life of leisure. And I really appreciate you making the time to be here. So we're going to sing in just a moment. But first, I want to just take a minute to just let ourselves arrive and just take a few deep breaths. I just encourage all of you to take a nice deep breath. Feel it all through your body. Release the day. You might want to shake out a little bit. You might want to, just loosen it up a little bit. We're all coming from somewhere, and we're probably all shifting gears right now to be here. So we have that minute to just breathe deep. Maybe close your eyes if you want to. Breathe all the way down to your feet and feel your feet touching something solid. And know that beneath that solidness there is earth. And that earth supports us, holds us, feeds us, breathes us. Offers us beauty and food, offers us fellow beings, fellow inhabitants to love, to learn from. So I just invite us all to breathe a deep breath of gratitude that we're still here. We're here on land that was originally peopled by others and still is inhabited by indigenous native people, that most of us are settler colonialists, and hopefully doing our best to walk with respect and gratitude. Yeah. And if you'd like to put in the chat, or put in your name, if you want to rename and put the, if you know the tribal lineage of the land that you're now living on, that's a nice, good thing to do. I am here on Ohlone land and Miwok land in the East Bay of California, of San Francisco Bay Area. So if you want to put something in the chat about that, great. Also, if you want to just put in the chat where you're from and the common, the language we all are more familiar with maybe, and why you're here tonight. What are you seeking? What medicine is calling you tonight with the music and the community and the theme? Just a couple of practical things. The chat is open, but we ask that you not chat during songs or during when our presenter Matthew is speaking. I don't think Matthew's going to sing on microphone anyway, but he is going to speak. So it's really helpful to the artists and presenters if you don't chat while we're trying to keep our concentration going. And I also want to say right off the top that I need to emphasize this a little more because, things are changing in people's priorities and where they're donating, but this is a donation-based event. I don't like charging a ticket price because some people won't be able to come. And so it's very vital to the artists and to me keeping this series going. If you can donate, and Eve is going to put donation information in the chat from time to time tonight. It's pretty easy to just donate right here while you're here, and not wait till you go home and forget. And we can take checks, PayPal, whatever, and even a little amount, just $5, you know, it makes it adds to the reality that this is a communal event, that we are creating this together. So appreciate you taking the time to donate, and it really makes a difference. It allows us artists to continue doing our work. So yes, all that. Okay. So I am going to start off with a song that you have some great parts to do with it. I wrote it about, oh my God, how many years ago? 1988. And I had just gotten back from Australia, where my sister lived for most of her adult life as an anthropologist, and did a lot of work with Aboriginal people, lived with Aboriginal people, the Yarralin Band up in the northern Queensland area, or not, it wasn't Queensland, it was up near Darwin. And she did a lot of land rights and sacred site protection work with them, was a expert court witness expert on land cases and so forth, and a great deal of respect for my sister. In fact, I'm wearing this shirt that was hers. I brought it back after she died. So this song is based on something that happened over there while I was there, that was a Greenpeace action to protect a rainforest, and that was going to be cut through to build a highway, that kind of thing that happens all the time. And one of the ways the activists protected the rainforest and stopped this enterprise was by digging down into the ground at the blade of a what do you call those big things with the blades? I can't think what it's called. You know what I mean. It's got a big earth mover, and they chained their feet to concrete blocks and then buried themselves up to their chins. So they were little human heads resting on the earth with blades facing them. It was quite a dramatic action, and they were overall victorious. So this is a really fun song to sing. Eve, I think there might be some lyrics for you to put in the chat. One family, one home, maybe not, we'll see. I think maybe not, actually. Anyway, this is called One Family, One Home, and there's plenty of echoes, and I'll show you what to do. Some people bury their heads in the sand. I'm gonna bury my tail, chain my foot to a concrete root. Gonna wait till they take me to jail. Wait till they take me to jail. Now that's the first thing. Every verse repeats the last line twice, so you can sing it with me the second time. Wait till they take me to jail. Now you sing. Wait till they take me to jail. Got it? I'll do it again. Wait till they take me to jail. Oh, wait till they take me to jail. You got it. Well, I ain't gonna wait to be 6 feet under to bury my bones in the clay. Swing low, sweet paddy wagon, coming for to carry me away. Oh, sing it. Coming for to carry me away. Well, it's cold and it's damp down here in the ground, chills me through and through. But it's home to the critters who burrow in the earth, so I guess it's my home too. Let's sing it. I guess it's my home too. This time, now the chorus I sing. There's life, and you shout. You're alone and you're unmuted, so just shout life right after me. There's life. Life in the trees, there's life. Life in the stone, there's life in you and me. One family, one home. One family, one home. Sing that. One family, one home. One family, one home. This isn't hard at all. It's just hard to remember when you're supposed to sing, but you'll get it. Now these ancient trees were standing here when the first white foot touched ground. White fella marveled at the scenery, then he settled into tearing it down, down. Settled into tearing it down. And the people of the dream and felt the blow, heard the silent scream. Tell me, where will the spirits dwell? Where will we find our dream? Oh, where will we find our dream? Get ready to shout. This is life, life, life in the tree, there's life, life, life in the stone, there's life in you and me. One family, one home, that's right. One family, one home. One family, one home. One family, one home. So it's two-legged, four-legged, winged and finned, the rock and the willow bough. We're strung together like a mighty chain, and we're all endangered now. We're all endangered now, but there's life, oh there is. But there's life in the tree, there's life in the stone, there's life in you and me. One family, one home, one family, one home. Sing it with me, one family, one home. Keep singing that. Family, I'm gonna do something different. One family, the rock and the willow, one family, and the people of the dream, one family, all around the world, one family, in the dark of the forest, one family, in the middle of America, family, in the belly of the beast, and family, in the global south, and family, with all our kin and family. One family, one home. Life. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on that. Got your energy up, yeah? This is good, right? All right. Well, we need bold activism these days, as we know. So that kind of action with putting your body right on the line is a just good reminder that this is what it takes to stop the big powers that think they run everything, think a machine can overcome a human. They got another thing coming. So now it is my great pleasure to introduce Judith Kate Friedman. I think some of you know Judith Kate. I bet you do. She is renowned on many fronts, and I'm not going to tell you a lot about her because I think her work speaks for itself, but she is a visionary and a poet and one who taps into deep myth and deep earth wisdom and puts it into music so beautifully. So Judith Kate, welcome, my old friend.
Thank you so much, Betsy. I'm very excited to be here with you all. I've been hearing about this series for a long time. And Betsy, yay for keeping the spirit of singing and singing along going for many years on Zoom. It's just
Yeah.
like, it's a very good, very good, wonderful gift to people. Let's see. I'm going to make sure that, is this, here we go. Is that sounding like you're hearing me well? I'm going to start with a song that's also a sing-along. And Eve, you can put the garden lyric in there. And it's a chant in two parts. And it's about planting something other than human beings in the ground. It's about the tiniest thing, planting carrot seeds. And these are words that Kazuaki Tanahashi, Kaz for short, from Berkeley, wonderful brush painter, artist, activist, founder of A World Without Armies. When the war in the Gulf was going to start in 2003, when it was imminent, he wrote 300 peace poems and then contacted all of his friends of many different musical styles, including Betsy and myself, and asked if we would set these to music. So these words are Kaz's words and my melody, and each part is like a descant. So once you get going, you'll only hear me singing, but you can be filling in any part of the chant or other words that you like. So we'll just do the 2 lines first to get you warmed up. In my garden, I plant carrot seeds. How's that sounding? Good. So that's your part. In my garden, breathe. I plant carrot seeds, and you breathe again. In my garden, I plant carrot seeds. And you can keep that going for the whole song, and the chant goes over it. Earth is my trusted partner. Earth is my nurturing mother. Earth is my protecting father. Earth is my beloved child. Earth is my trusted partner. Earth is my protecting father. Earth is my nurturing mother. Earth is our hope for the future. I made a typo there. I like to flip the genders. So the second time we do my nurturing father and my protecting mother. Earth is my trusted partner. Earth is my nurturing mother. Earth is my protecting father. Earth is my beloved child. Earth is my trusted partner. Earth is my nurturing mother. Earth is my protecting father. Earth is our hope for the future. So you can do any of those lines over and over again and just enjoy your own sense of the overlay. In my garden, I plant carrot seeds. In my garden, I plant carrot seeds. Earth is my trusted partner. Earth is my protecting mother. Earth is my nurturing father. Earth is my beloved child. Earth is my trusted partner. Earth is my nurturing mother. Earth is my protecting father. Earth is our hope for the future. Earth is our hope for the future. Earth is our hope for the future. Thank you. So, Betsy, would you like me to continue? Is that our plan with a few more songs, or are we zigzagging? How
Oh,
are we going to
no,
do?
yeah, no, I was thinking you could do a few more. I think we were thinking till about 6:30 or so.
Um, yeah, that's just about 8 minutes. Okay, that might not leave me as much time as I thought I would
Well,
have.
that's all right. Take more then. Take more. That's cool.
All right. All right. Well, I will I'll keep that other one for another time that I was about the redwoods. And instead I will play you what for me has become a signature song. That is it's even though it's now 20 years 25 years since I wrote it. I continue to grow into it and it continues to teach me. It's one of these songs that came from beyond in a certain way. It's called A Spider's Tale. And you'll catch the chorus and it's in the chat if you like. Listen, can you hear this spider whispering to you? I've been waiting here all morning in this bright hospital room. I hope that no one finds me here and brushes me away. 'Cause I'm weaving you a story you can keep all of your days. It's a story bears repeating in the walls of this stark place. Rows and rows of boxes and new babies on display. The instruments of steel and time cannot erase your soul. Small growing things of every kind bloom where no one goes. You will play like the water rolls, like the wind gets wild and the night grows cold and heals the ground and and the cracks of day, comes out like a ray of the sun on fire. I'm patient like your grandmother, I know all their rules. I've been here since they wrote them, since they learned about thumbs and tools. The way they hold your head, well, that is something rather new. You can trust in your small bed that you are worth the coming through. And you'll meet pirates and gamblers all steady in their game. They'll teach you must choose, that life's all black and white and gray. They'll convince you you're mortal, but this too is a tale. For your body is a portal, and your spirit is a sail. You will play like the water rolls, like the wind gets wild, and the night grows cold, and heals the ground, and the cracks a day, comes out like a ray of the sun on fire. The children of our ancestors have grown and lost their keys, caught in endless cobwebs of mistakes and aches and greed. Clear away the rubble, go rescue the small seeds. In the relics and the rubbish, if you listen, you'll find me. I am dancing on the ceiling, I am watching the high beam, I am walking the high beam. I'll do it again. I am dancing on the ceiling, I am walking the high beam. Watch and I can teach you all that life has taught to me. You can weave a web, catch a dream, but never catch the moon. But if you find a piece of sky, the moon will follow you. You will play like the water rolls, like the wind gets wild and the night grows cold, and heals the ground and the cracks a day, comes out like a ray of the sun on fire. So if ever you are lonely or entangled or confused, remember you have wisdom, I want to hear from you. Wherever you will gather in your circles in the park, each stranger is a singer. May we weave into the dark and play like the water rolls, like the wind gets wild and the night grows cold, and heals the ground and the cracks a day, comes out like a ray of the sun on fire. Play like the water rolls and the night grows cold, and heals the ground and the cracks a day, like a ray of the sun on fire.
Ooh, ooh, I have to unmute. I just have to say what an amazing song, and what a mythic song, and just ooh, invoking the spider and all that mythology around it. It's just gorgeous. I just had to jump in and say that because I know a lot of people are feeling that. Thank you for that. And also,
Thank
don't
you.
feel crowded for time. Do the Redwood song if you want. But you're going to come back at the end. But you take, do
Well,
it.
yeah, I wanted to sing the song about the rocks before Matt
Yeah, go
began
for it.
to talk.
Absolutely, do
And
it.
that song, I don't know if it's probably 2 or 3, maybe it's 3 minutes with this other piece I had to speak
Go
before
for
it.
it.
And
Totally go
then the
for it.
other one is long. So if we have time towards the end, we can weave it back in,
Okay,
Betsy.
let's see how that goes. Also, Judith, you might want to adjust your camera. You're a little off center or off kind of drifting off the edge of the screen a little bit.
Oh, I purposely kind of am in
Okay,
order to get there to be room on the
sure.
couch.
Can you twist your camera angle at all? Or is that's no, you should
That's
be well.
better, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, but you be
good.
comfortable now. I'm
Yeah.
messing with you. I'm gonna stop
Don't
messing
worry,
with
you
you
can mess with me. Just don't call me Judith, by the way.
Oh dear.
I don't know when you started that, but it must have been in the gap between when we knew each other, because
I think so.
originally it was never a thing. And that's just for everybody who doesn't know me. I go by Kate for short, but never Judith. So, in the past few years, I've been absorbing and teaching from a wonderful book that my belated beloved, who was a wonderful musician and then became a mythologist, which is partly how I got extra steeped in mythic. But even before that, I wrote that song. That was almost a song that helped introduce me and him together. That's a different story, which we don't have time for. But this book that Daniel Deardorff wrote is called The Other Within, The Genius of Deformity in Myth, Culture, and Psyche. And in the third edition came out in 2022, posthumously, with a new afterword by Martin Shaw, the mythologist. Some of you may be familiar with his work. And Robert Bly wrote the introduction before Robert's passing. And there was just wonderful, new things that we added around the book. But the book is the same. And it's wonderful to have it out freshly. So I learned about going on a book tour, which was something that I had never done before. And I began to take pieces of the book that spoke to me most strongly and make these talks. So this is just a smidge of a talk because it's so apropos of right now and the theme of our evening together. The severance of human beings from the earth and the severance of human beings from the wild outside us and inside ourselves. This subject becomes more and more relevant by the day, not only because of climate change, but also because of the denial that is also countering the reality of what humans are doing and what the earth is doing in response. So let's take a moment to reflect on our experience as 21st century human beings within civilizations that have, for the most part, usurped the wild. Not only does civilization overrun, segment, and extract resources from the earth, severing us from our collective roots and kinship as members of the living world, but civil society also others the earth and considers some humans lesser or more aberrant or other than others, and crucially denigrates, denies, disses, shames, and kills off or exiles the other, not only from us, but within us. To teach about this experience over millennia and give us access to it viscerally, Daniel Deardorff liked to use the metaphor or the image and story of the Great Wall that Alexander the Great built in the 4th century BCE, which he said split the human heart. That this beginning of civilization and expansion of empire was the place that severance really got encoded all those centuries ago, all those millennia ago. And it still impacts us today. This wall that so-called kept barbarian hordes or dogmen out, of course, also kept the so-called civilized in. And now what are we to do? All of this time later, in this place where all of this is still the problem, how do we find trickster wisdom and become mythic tricksters in our ways to find ways to punch holes in the walls of rigidity and that bifurcation attitude, the us-them? How do we become the ones who make things more porous and able to hold paradox? So that's what I wanted to ask. as my offering here and give this particular song that I wrote by picking up pieces of petrified wood and beginning to make a rock garden here and reclaim a space away from the brambles and make a rock garden out of rocks that were collected in various parts of the West by Daniel's dad, who was a rock aficionado. I don't know if now we might want to leave the rocks where they were, but he had already gathered them, so when he moved here to Port Townsend and he was needing to move into a care setting, Daniel said, "Bring the rocks over to my house," and it was 7 tons of them. So I have learned a lot about rocks and the healing properties of holding a very ancient, millennial-old piece of wood that has become a rock. And this is partly what the rocks told me in this song. If I can just find the words in front of me. Here we go. And I'm going to try to do this in such a manner that I'm more centered, Betsy. Let's see if this works. Nope, that won't work at all. Here we go. It's a little sloppy, but it'll do. Here we are. You got it? Is that sounding good? When I hold the rocks that have lived for millions, eons and eons of stories pour forth. Long before the clocks knew how to give us tears or count the days since we were born. Now you laugh, you rocks, you laugh, you always laugh when you catch my eye. I've learned you laugh even when I am not looking. Oh, but your intention is to cut through the lies and remind us we're all cooking. There's no snow on the mountains in the summer anymore. What about the alpine meadows? What is all this sorrow for? Well, we treat the earth like a prisoner of war, tortured deep into a fracking plunder. Time elapses, ice collapses. Will we have a few years or more before oceans drown us all in thunder? When I hold the rocks, I feel an old refrain. A living pulse can't be extracted from its vein. Feel it for yourself. Underneath the ground remains the source of all life, and cherishing her keeps us sane. I am kinning. We are spinning in this thinning place we keep. Yet miracles come shining, winning if we bring an end to greed. When I hold the rocks that have lived for millions, eons and eons of stories pour forth. Long before the clocks knew how to give us tears or count the days since we were born.
Phew. Yeah. Woo.
Thank you.
Before time gave us tears. Oh my goodness. Ooh, Judith Kate, that's amazing. Beautiful. Wonderful. And is this a good time to transition? Are you complete for now? And then we'll
Yeah,
come
that's
back
my
to
segue into
Yeah.
about
Oh,
Earth
I love it.
stewardship.
Thank
Yeah,
you, my dear.
thank
Oh
you.
boy, let's give Judith Kate a silent but very enthusiastic, whatever, however you like to give some love online. We've learned how to do this. Oh, wonderful. So I'm going to do one song and then I'm going to introduce you to Matt Rose Stark, who's been patiently waiting and hopefully enjoying all of this. I sure have been enjoying it. But I wanted to do a song that is it's kind of a prayer. It is a prayer, actually. And I wrote it during one of our earlier awful wildfires out here, the one where the whole sky turned red. Do any of you Californians in my area remember that? It was very eerie. It was apocalyptic. That was a word you heard a lot. It felt apocalyptic. I've never seen a sky like that. I was driving away from the coast toward the east, and ahead of me was just a burning red sky. It was biblical, you know. And as I recall, and I don't know if you're there, Matt, but I think Matt was out also driving, and completely separate from me, on a highway where he could see huge billows of smoke down the way, and people were going forward. And I remember Matt saying, "I just had this intuition to turn around and drive away as fast as I could." And I think it was just an incredible awakening for many, many when whole towns burned. When was it Paradise that burned? And this was that fire, I think. So this song came to me out of that. Again, it has echoes for you. I try to make it easy. You don't have to learn anything. But I sing, "Oh, Mother Earth," and you just sing like right back to me, "Oh, Mother Earth," and it goes on like that. And then there's this little chorus that says, "Oh, Mother Earth, may the rivers run, may the trees stand tall." And when I sing that, we'll just do it 2 or 3 times and we'll all sing it together. So just echo and then join me in the chorus. Oh, Mother Earth, oh, Mother Earth, I come to you, lay down my heart, in the name of truth. I am your child. You give me all. Here's the chorus. Oh, Mother Earth, may the rivers run, may the trees stand tall. Let's do that together. Oh, Mother Earth, may the rivers run, may the trees stand tall. Yeah, just keep up those echoes. Thank you. It's good to do this together as best we can. Oh, sacred earth, oh, sacred. We've gone too far. The land is burning and the skies are dark. Falling on my knees in penitence, rising up as a warrior to offer my life in your defense. Rising up as a warrior, rising up as a warrior, offer my life in your defense. Let's do it again. Rising up as a warrior to offer my life in your defense. Oh, Mother Earth, sacred source, nothing can shake you from your course. Born out of fire, born out of night, out of chaos, you made life, and from our birth, we all are one. Out of stardust, we are spun, we are kin at the core. Oh, Mother Earth, make us more. Oh, Mother Earth, oh, Mother, please hear my prayer, hear my prayer. Our time is short, but I'm still here, my roots go deep, I will not fall. Oh, Mother Earth, may the rivers run, may the trees stand tall. Sing that with me. Oh, Mother Earth, may the rivers run, may the trees stand tall. child, I am yours. I hear your call, I hear your call. Oh, Mother Earth, may the rivers run, may the trees stand tall. Oh, Mother Earth, may the rivers run, may the trees stand tall. And that is our prayer. My roots go deep, I will not fall. Ooh, may it be so. May it be so. All right, and now I'm going to introduce our next guest, who is a very old friend of mine. Matt, if you want to unmute and come on screen, maybe you can spotlight Matt, Eve.
Hey there.
And I want to introduce Matt Rose Stark. And Matt, as you know, if you've read the publicity, is a regenerative farmer and rancher. And if you don't know exactly what that is, he's going to tell you all about it. And I guess I just, you all probably know this is also my beloved son, who grew up in the urban wilds of Berkeley, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Matt, maybe you could just start by saying hello in any way you want, but tell us, where are you right now?
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on here, Mom. It's beautiful. You too, Kate. All those songs are just beautiful, and it's yeah. I'm going to talk about some ideas and some concepts, but it's the music kind of gets at the heart of it, and it's good. It's good. So thank you. Where am I? I'm I'm at our home, which is in the Sutter Buttes on the ranch we manage, and I could talk a lot about the Sutter Buttes. Maybe to start off, it's a terrible name for this place. John Sutter was a pretty bad person, did a lot of bad things, as a lot of white guys in the 1850s did. So it's the ancestral homelands of the Nisenan, Patwin, Concow people. And I say three tribes because their territories actually intersected here at this little mountain range. And and it was kind of the one place, as I understand it, that all of the tribes could go to hunt and gather and perform rituals and ceremonies without any kind of conflict. So it was a place of peace and a place that featured really prominently in all their cosmologies. And it's just a deeply sacred place, and I feel that every day I'm out here. So and I guess I'll say they called it in various languages Middle Mountain or Spirit Mountain. So I when I remember, I try to refer to it as that instead. So, and I guess a little more about it. Where actually is it? We're in the Sacramento Valley, and we're a little volcano that's 1.6 million years old, which is actually quite young compared to the Sierras or the Coast Range. And if you go on Google Earth and look it up, it's looks like a little pimple right in the middle of the valley, surrounded by industrial agriculture on all sides. So some of the most sort of pernicious examples of uh, destructive farming practices are all around it in all directions, and it's a little haven that has not, to a large extent, been turned into housing at all or development or anything of that nature. And that's kind of a through line with it, ecologically speaking. It before all the dams and levees and the water control system in the Central Valley was erected, which is, I think, arguably one of the most sort of hydrologically manipulated places on the planet, is the Central Valley in California. Water is controlled and dammed and moved around, and it has all sorts of detrimental effects. But before any of that happened, the Central Valley would flood and it would turn into a enormous lake. I mean, all up and down the, probably over 1,000 miles from end to end underwater. And the Sutter Buttes would be the one exception to that. It would be, and so it would become an island surrounded by water on all sides for miles. So people would take refuge there or here, and animals would too. So it was this refuge for flora and fauna and this unique little island of diversity in a flooded landscape. And it still kind of feels that way. It's sort of a island in a different sense, but it's a refuge for me, for the creatures that live here, and it's a place that I'm very much in love with. So
It's a
that's where
refuge.
I am.
It's a refuge for me too. I just love the band so much. It's so beautiful. In fact, I'm going to post some pictures in a minute. But Matt, tell us briefly, how on earth did you get here? You're a city boy. You didn't major in agriculture at UC Berkeley. You were not heading for this life, and something happened that turned you around. Can you give us a very quick nugget of how you became a farmer?
Yeah, that's a hard. It's hard to condense, but I'll try. The sort of really short version is I think that despite having a wonderful mother with all sorts of liberal sensibilities and an ecological lens to view the world through, and same with my dad, I loved visiting nature, but I didn't have an intimate relationship with it in the way that I think is most of our birthrights. And I think my understanding of humans as they related to nature was probably the how most people understand it, if they think about it at all, which is that our needs are in opposition to each other. So that in order to provide for what we need, our food and our fiber and our fuel and all the things that we need to live and survive, we have to take from nature. And therefore, nature has to be protected from us. It needs to be cordoned off. We need to take certain sections and put a rope around it and stay away because we are bad for it. And the best we can do is visit it from time to time in these places we've set aside that we decided not to destroy. And that's one of the least inspiring narratives I've ever heard, but it's kind of what I believed without even really knowing it. Um, but after working in a office job briefly after college and finding it extremely soul sucking, I went down to South America to travel and ended up through very serendipitous circumstances living and working um, or volunteering really on a permaculture farm with about 100 acres in Costa Rica, and they actually, ironically, it had been a place that had been overgrazed and damaged by cattle grazing largely, and they were turning it back into jungle. And they were doing this by uh, intelligently planting species that provided for humans, like turmeric and ginger, and then also planting those in the understory of trees that provided other fruits like cacao and some other plants you probably wouldn't know, and timber trees. And it was this layered approach of restoring this degraded landscape to a productive ecology where there were monkeys and there were birds and it was thriving and humming with life. And in that process, also producing all of this food for people that and raw materials. So it was the first time I saw that those two things could happen together. And it just felt like I didn't really get it, but it felt so right in my bones, just that oh, this is what people are supposed to be doing. And and I think the not to jump ahead too much, but the name of our business, my wife Riley and I, we started our business about 3 years ago, is Keystone Land and Livestock. And that's based on the idea of a keystone species, which is a species that through the way that they provide for their needs, through the way that they live their life. So be it salmon or beaver or bear or wolf, um, they actually create more abundance, more diversity, more complexity, more habitat for many, many, many other creatures. And so the realization there, I guess, and this was 10 years ago, I was in Costa Rica, give or take, was that humans can be a keystone species. In fact, we have been for most of our existence, and we can be again, and it's what we're supposed to be. Um, so the question that sort of drove the subsequent 10 years was, well, how do we go about that? Especially, again, for a people and a culture that has been very disconnected from the traditions and the practices and the knowledge of how to be in that kind of relationship with the land. And I'm a far away from figuring it all out, but I have put a couple pieces together. So yeah, sort of the fast forward there is and maybe I'm jumping ahead here, but we my wife and I, who was my girlfriend at the time, traveled around and worked at a number of different farms and ranches doing various kind of interning and apprenticing and trying stuff on and falling over and getting dirty and getting back up and trying on this hat and finding out it didn't fit. And um ultimately what I wanted to know was, okay, I see what worked in Costa Rica and how inspiring this was in this jungle context, but in Mediterranean climate wise, Mediterranean California, in this seasonal rainfall environment that's often very arid, that's not, much of it is in a closed canopy forest, but it's a lot of grasslands, it's savannas, grasslands dotted with trees. How do we have that same kind of impact? How do we improve and restore the health of this place that has been degraded by Western civilization and by all sorts of culprits, by the wrong kind of grazing of cattle, by the wrong kind of agriculture, etc. How do we restore this while caring for ourselves? And the answer I came across through lots of friends and mentors and books and podcasts was it's actually livestock, that cattle, when properly managed, are the best, and I would argue the only tool we have to restore the grasslands and savannas of California and really much of the planet. Rangelands occupy something like a third of the terrestrial land surface on the planet, and they all need grazing animals. And and not only do we take care of them in that way, but we also can get a surplus. We can feed ourselves with nutrient dense, healthy, amazing food that can also address all kinds of other health and obesity crises we're facing. So maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's kind of how we ended up here, starting our business in the Buttes.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great story, and of course I was there to see it. But it's seeing it is one thing, and hearing how you've kind of put it together in your own mind of why this all makes sense, how one thing led to another. And Matt, one of the reasons I wanted to share you with my folks here, have been wanting to for a long time, is because I think we're at sort of a generational moment in our evolution, where we who were born in the much earlier decades can't help but feel very sad for the earth that, in a sense, this is the way we say it, we have left for you. And I hear a lot of guilting and bemoaning of people my age about, oh, but we've left our children, I feel so bad. And fair enough, I mean, I wish we could have seen this coming better, and I wish we had paid attention sooner to everything that we're now being forced to pay attention to. But we also know that and I'm taught by we, I mean folks born in the 50s, 60s, kind of the generation that's mostly in this room. We also built a lot of very powerful social movements that are standing us in good stead these days and right now in America right now. But I feel like this is a really wonderful and important time for kind of an intergenerational nourishing, right? Like there's lots of things we older people can do to support, encourage, finance, and otherwise cheer you on and give you a little wind at your back, because there's no stability for this generation. We know that, they're facing an economy that's just tumbling by the day. And, I'm very glad that you chose a life on the land, because the land, whether healthy or not, is there. It's there. It's not a stock market that's going to crash. You can still grow food there, and it feels like a good time for a lot of young people to be returning to the land. And I know you're part of a very vibrant community of young ranchers, grazers, farmers. You have some networks out there in the different counties around you, and making community and making a way of life at a time when so many young people, like your college friends, your high school friends, they're doing great stuff, but they're all in cities for the most part. And they're all sitting at desks, and they're all on computers doing really good things. So it's just, I felt like it's valuable for my people to know the kind of choice that you're making, and you're not the only one. And then when you get a little more into the cattle and the grass and how that's actually restoring soil, I just find it very, very inspiring. And I'm just thinking, this may be a little weird, but I almost feel like I want to pause and make music for a minute and then
Sure.
come back to the talk. Because as you say, the music is kind of it adds that special sauce. Can you hold your thought
Yeah,
and we'll sing for a minute and then
okay, go ahead.
cool. All right. Well, I'm going to then lead us in a chant because what better thing to do when we are honoring Earth than to chant as people have for thousands of years. And this is a one that I think a lot of you know probably. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, 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 return. Raise your hand if you've ever sung this chant. I'd love to know. Yeah. And it's a song of regeneration. It is saying things go down and they return again. They come back again. And here we are on the edge of Easter, which is a resurrection story, during Passover, which is a kind of being saved from the unthinkable by an unseen hand, and the kind of miracle of life coming out of what looked like death. So we're going to do this fun thing where I'm going to get us started, teach it to you real quick, and then I have it recorded in parts so you can try out different parts. This is a new technology I'm learning. But first, give me one sec. The earth. Okay, so here's how it goes. Take a deep breath because it takes a lot of breath. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, 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 return. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, return, return. Try that. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, 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 return. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, return, return. Very easy. And the next part, even easier. Aye, 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 oh, aye, oh, aye, oh, aye, oh. Aye, 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 oh, aye, oh, aye, oh. Try that. Aye, 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 oh, aye, oh, aye, oh, aye, oh. Aye, 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 oh, aye, oh, aye, oh. Got it? Very easy. Now, those IAs, they have parts you can build above them. Like there's a third above, can go IA, 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 IO, 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 and that's a harmony. Or you can go IA, 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 IO, 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 IO. And this is like, I picture it like two parts holding hands, walking down the street in lockstep, these little parts. They will be recorded and you will hear them. So you don't even have to remember them. And you can just sing different parts and have fun. It doesn't go on for that long, so jump in early, don't wait. And here we go, starting off with the earth. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, 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 return. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, return, return. Aye, 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 oh, aye, oh, aye, oh, aye, oh. Aye, 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 oh, aye, oh, aye, oh. Aye, 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 oh, aye, oh, aye, oh, aye, oh. Aye, aye, you can dance to it. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, return, return. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, 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 return. The earth, the air, the fire, the water, return, return, return. Ooh. So did that come through? Could you hear the harmonies? Oh, good. So glad. Thank you. Oh yeah, that felt good. So Matt, you are right on time. You're saying everything I hoped you would say. But I think, and I'm gonna post some pictures real quick. I also, again, I'm gonna be very blatant tonight. I'm gonna make another pitch for donations. Some of you came in late. We are really needing to talk to other artists on Zoom. We are all seeming to need to solicit funds a little more adamantly, and I know it's, we're money going to a lot of different places right now. These are very uncertain times. But if you value this experience, if this is something that adds meaning and strength and courage to your life, please invest in it. We want to keep doing this. So I thank you for that. The donation information is in the chat. You can do it right now while you're online. Um, so let's just take a, well, no, actually, I'm not going to post photos right this minute because I want you to talk, Matt, about how it is that cattle, which we are trained to see as the arch enemy, cattle are ruining the environment, got to get rid of the cattle, got to stop eating beef. Now, there's grains of truth in all that, and I'll let you say what they are. But there's cattle, and then there's cattle. There's regenerative ranching, and then there's agribusiness. So I'd love it if you could talk a little bit about what you're doing that's different, how you do it, and how it mimics something that was done naturally by bison and buffalo 150 years ago. I'm prompting you all over the place. Go for it, Matt.
Don't get me started. You will be here for
I
a while.
understand. This is hard. I get you.
Yeah, I got so much to say about this. I mean, so I mentioned earlier, sort of by accident, but it sort of ties in well, that the original place that I got excited about ecological agriculture had been largely damaged through cattle grazing, and that is accurate. And like, yeah, you said it perfectly, Mom, that cattle get a bad rap, and I think a part of that is because it's a very simple narrative, and when people don't have a relationship with animals or land, it's pretty easy to understand cow's bad. Like that's pretty straightforward, and you don't need to think about it a lot, and you can um, ride around on a high horse and tell other people the same thing, and it feels good. And I say that as someone who was a vegetarian for 20 years, so I'm not just being a dick. Um, but but I think that it's a much more complex and nuanced truth. And one of the, maybe if you need a simple moniker to remember it, you could say it's not the cow, it's the how. And what that means is it's not a cattle. Cows are neither good nor bad, but how they're managed dictates the impact they have on the environment they're in. And by and large, we being people have done a terrible job at managing cattle and at taking care of land. And so the outcomes we largely see are negative. Um, but that doesn't have to be the case. And we're living in a severely degraded landscape, and there's this idea of sort of shifting ecological baselines. You believe whatever you knew as a kid is about how things were supposed to be, because the human lifespan is very quick, and the world is very old. So we don't realize how different things were 150 200 years ago, but without getting into too much detail, the entirety of the world, and definitely the United States, was very much like the Serengeti. It had these enormous herds of migrating grazers, ruminants, buffalo or bison rather, in California, elk, pronghorn, deer, and they traveled in migratory cycles. So in California, they might have spent their winters up in the Sierras grazing those alpine pastures, and then come down into the valley and graze the valley, and then maybe all the way out through the Fairfield Gap out to the San Francisco Bay Area, and then back up to the mountains. And these were groups of thousands of animals in herds. And oftentimes, or really always, they would also be pursued by carnivores, by wolves and grizzly bears, that would incentivize them to stay in these herds, because that was their form of protection, was being in a group, safety in the herd, right? You get away from the herd, you get eaten. Um, so that was the context of California, but it was also the context that grass developed in. So not just 300 years ago, but 300,000 years ago, grass evolved in tandem with grazing animals, and ruminants being animals with four stomachs that can process grass, which is a very difficult thing to process. It's high in cellulose and lignin and all of these things that we can't eat. And that's why they have these huge stomachs, is because, and that's why they They chew their cud, they throw it back up, and they chew it some more, and they swallow it again. They're very good at turning this thing that is incredibly abundant, but also hard to digest into flesh and into poop. Um, and and like I said, they co-evolved, mean that they need each other. In the same way that a cow cannot live, or at least not live well, without grass, grass cannot live well without some animal eating it. And it's not just having an animal eat it, but it's having an animal eat it who is in the ecological context of a migratory herd. So there, the grass is used to a bunch of animals showing up and trampling it and eating it and defecating it on it and urinating and getting their saliva all over it and really tearing it up and then moving on. And the grass gets time to recover and regrow. And that recovery time is sort of the key ingredient in the health of a grassland. It needs the disturbance event, it needs the impact of the animals, and then it needs some time to get back up and regrow its leaves. And it's actually going to be far healthier and able to express itself to its fullest potential if it is impacted by animals. It can't do that in their absence. So then if we zoom in a little bit on the actual plant, what's not happening, not just in the grassland, but in the individual grass plant, a cow comes along and it takes a bite and it defoliates the grass. And the grass says, "Oh my gosh, I've got to grow new leaves." So it needs help. So it shoots exudates a pulse of carbon, which it has taken out of the sky through photosynthesis. It's stored that in its body, and it exudes that into the soil. And those root exudates are exchanged with the fungi and bacteria in the soil, all the little microbes that live in there, for nutrients that they get, that they're able to mine and extract from the substrate of the soil. And they need the carbon. The bugs in the soil need the carbon. The grass needs micronutrients. It needs all of these things in very small amounts that the fungi and bacteria give them. And there's this underground sort of economy, this trade, this exchange, this symbiotic relationship between the grass, the soil, and the ruminant. And as long as those animals move on and they don't come back and take a second bite and keep eating that same plant and it has a chance to recover, that cycle is going to happen again and again, and the grass is going to regrow with deeper roots and more leaves, stronger and stronger. And that carbon that got sent into the soil is going to be stored in the soil. So it's going to become, through the bodies of the microbes and the defecation of the microbes, it's going to become a stable form of soil carbon. And that is actually the mechanism by which our fertile grasslands, all of Iowa, was built by buffaloes just moving in circles, moving in migratory groups, and pooping and eating and moving on, and coming back half a year later, a year later, and doing the same thing. And you do that for a couple million years, and you get the richest soils that the world's ever seen. So
So
that's
like a
that's
good,
kind of the idea behind grassland disturbance ecology.
wow. So can you see
Um,
this picture? Is this showing up, this picture?
yeah, that's showing up, Mom.
So there you go. So this is what the result is of you imitating what the bison and buffalo did under the charge of the predators, moving them on. You move your cattle every 3 or 4 days from pasture to pasture, if I've got that right. And if I've got that right, this picture is on the right, my right, when I look at it, the less lush grass is the land that never got managed the way you are managing the grass on the left, on the rich side. Have I got that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Right.
That's a neighboring ranch.
Oh, right, right, right. Okay, so this is just a great illustration of the difference when cattle are managed in this way, which what it's called, what, mob move and something
There's a
else?
lot of different names for it. Yeah, you could call it adaptive rotational grazing, mob grazing, holistic management. There's kind of a lot of vernacular, but they all mean more or less the same thing, which is the cattle are intentionally being moved around so as to provide the grass with adequate impact and subsequent recovery.
Right.
And just to sort of build on that, Mom, is that's how it happens in a natural system, what I just described.
Hmm.
Um, we don't live in a natural system. We live in a system, an ecosystem that is severely degraded, where we have our apex predators have been removed. Our land is divided into random squares with barbed wire around it and private property, and the native ruminants have largely been removed. So and this is sort of often true in ecologies that have been degraded, we take on the work that we wouldn't have had to do if we didn't mess the whole thing up.
Mhm.
But we take on the role of the predator, and we keep our cattle bunched in these herds, in these tight bunches, and we move them around. And the grass really responds to that because it is the context under which it evolved.
Yeah.
And it's been really, really cool and rewarding to see the extent to which that's true. Because what I just told you was a theory, and Riley and I have had 3 years to implement it as practice, and seeing the land respond has been probably the most hopeful and encouraging thing I've seen in my life.
Well, I would say amen to that because it is the most hopeful and encouraging thing I've seen, one of them in my life. And I think so many of us don't realize how much humans can have a positive impact, as you said, be a keynote species, a positive impact on the ecological world and the climate crisis. And just knowing how those little grasses pull the carbon down and stick them down in the ground. I mean, I look at those waving grasses and I just see carbon storage, and it just makes me happy. It makes me hopeful. And I just don't think enough people know about what is possible. So that's why I would drag you onto my, oh man, we'd go on the road if I had my way. But Matt, we're running out of time, but which is fine. This is how it always goes. But could you really quick tell that story about dormant seeds that emerge from disturbance? Because I have a song I want to sing about.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I mean,
that's one of
and
my
I kind of
favorite.
already touched on this, but the sort of underlying idea behind all of this is disturbance ecology, which is that any ecosystem evolves with a certain regime of disturbance. So whether that's how often fire returns to a landscape, or how often flood comes, or what have you, it has the organisms in that landscape have evolved to deal with that disturbance, and in fact to thrive because of it. And so our job generally as humans who have oftentimes eliminated or damaged that disturbance cycle is to figure out how to restore it. What did it, how did it used to be, and how can we emulate that as best as we can? So in regards to cattle, like I said, the um the disturbance they create is not just biting the plant, but right, it's the cycling of the nutrients. So they're turning it from grass back into poop and back into the soil. It's their saliva, which stimulates grass growth. So if you mow a lawn versus have a cow eat it, it's going to respond differently because the saliva evolved to stimulate the grass growth. And it's their hooves. So their hooves stir up the ground and create sites of disturbance, just like hoeing your garden or tilling the soil or whatever else. It creates a seed bed, and it if done with enough density, enough cattle in one location, it will actually stir up and bring to the surface, but also, and I don't fully know how this works, but kind of the kinetic energy of the hooves actually stimulates the seeds to germinate because they know that enough old grass material has sort of been cleared out of the way that there's room for a new seed to come up and grow.
Wow. That's
So we it's actually it's very prescient that you bring it up, Mom, because I was going around just yesterday and doing some ecological monitoring of various transect sites where we look at species composition. And there's some places where I've never seen purple needlegrass, which is a native bunch grass, a very desirable species, anywhere around it. And this year I'm seeing them pop up. And I don't think they've been there for 80, 100 years or something like that at
wow.
least. But those seeds were still in the soil, and they required the application of the appropriate disturbance regime to create an ecological context conducive to their germination.
Wow.
So
That's
that's I
that's
think
so
right, what you
fabulous.
wanted to talk about.
That was it. That was it.
Okay.
You nailed it. You nailed it. I mean, okay, so listen, this story, and you've told me a bunch of stories of this nature. Okay, here's what it brought up for me, folks, and some of you may have heard me say this. If there are seeds that have been around and not visible for decades and who knows what, how long, maybe longer, that all they need is disturbance. They need hoofs, they need wildfire, they need something. So here's my little message. What if human beings have evolved over millennia with seeds in us that have not yet been disturbed enough to awaken? And under the disturbance that we are in now, which is like no other, not just in America, the whole globe is going through a huge shakeup. And maybe that's just what is needed for the seeds of our more creative, more courageous, more communal capacities to finally be awakened. So I'm going to sing this song, and then Judith Kate is going to take us out. And this is about the seeds and about much more. It's kind of like under pressure, figuring out, what do I really believe? So this song is called Stay Awake. I believe in magic. I believe in science. I believe in spirits who speak out of the silence. I believe in waiting, watching time creating, feeling how the winds change and all the world is swaying. I have no doubt there are seeds deep asleep, waiting patiently down under, waiting for the fires and the hooves, the stampede that will wake them from their slumber. I believe in chaos and the great disruption and the sleeping fires and their sacred eruptions. I believe in mysteries and the hidden histories and the secret code left behind from friends across the galaxies. I have no doubt there is time to unlearn every false compromise. We're ready for the storm and to be born into this time. Hold to the truth, believe our eyes. I believe in this day. I believe in the good way, in what the trees say, teaching us how to reach out and pray in the midst of the firestorm, in the midst of the great warm, in the face of the doom clock. Time unwinds and hidden streams unlock. I have no doubt there is more being born, and we will marvel at the wonder. Seeds within our souls, never known, never dreamed, waking up and bringing thunder. Believe what the elders say, the outcome is still in play, and the powers that weave the web never sleep. Oh no, they are wide awake. So stay awake to the mysteries, to the guardian galaxies, to the whispering of the redwood trees, the ancient prophecies. Stay awake, stay awake. The outcome is still in play. Keep walking the good way. 'Cause the weavers never sleep. They have promises to keep, weaving you, weaving me, weaving all that will ever be. They are wide awake. So stay awake. Stay awake. Whisper with me, stay awake. We're going to whisper this like mycelium, just buzzing around under the soil, spreading the word to everyone. Stay awake. The outcome is still in play. The guardian galaxies are with us. Stay awake. So just whisper, stay awake. Stay awake. Stay awake. Stay awake. Think about who you might want to send this message to. Someone who's looking for hope, someone who desperately wants to believe. Tell them to stay awake. It's not over. The outcome is still in play. Stay awake. Stay awake. Stay awake. The outcome is still in play. Keep walking the good way. And stay awake. Thank you. Oh man. So that's my 4-minute musical version of what Matt just said, what he said. Matt, thank you so much for bringing all that to us. So much, so interesting. Next time we'll have a seminar. We'll like really get down to it. But you covered a lot, and let's just give Matt then the biggest possible whatever. You know, we are with you. We encourage you. We're thankful to you for what you're doing.
Thanks, man.
The future is in good hands. Yes, go ahead.
If anyone wants to buy some beef, I'll put the link in the. I'll put the
Put the
link to
link.
our.
That's
We just
right.
put our website up the other day, so if there's all the information on there, you can send us an email.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's it.
And
Thank you.
oh, thank you so much, Matt. And we'll do this again. There's a podcaster in me dying to get out. It's just, if I could ever get the technology down. Anyway, before I talk anymore, I want Judith Kate to come back and give us a song. And we may just go over a little bit tonight because I've never had a speaker before. So I didn't know how to time this. So we might just go a little bit over. And then, as many of you know, I leave the room open and there's an after party where those who wish, stay and just chat and talk together. And if I know Matt's had a very, very long day, so you may not stay. If Matt stays, you're welcome to ask him questions, but he's free to go because life is life. And but Judith Kate, please, Penelope, I'll find out the answer to that question for you. Take it away, Kate. Judith Kate. Judith Kate.
Oh, I didn't know I was unmuted and doing my little "Am I in tune" thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to
You're
do
good.
that
You're
for
totally
you.
good.
Here is the chorus to this one. And I think that, yes, thank you, Eve, for your tech support and holding that down. And Eve has dropped into the chat some of the upcoming events, including in the Bay Area, for those of you who are near San Leandro on the 10th of May, a very amazing, unique event with all of these singers who have ever sung with Linda Hirshhorn are coming back together for a reunion to accompany her as she's celebrated in her 36th year as a cantor in the San Leandro Temple Beth Shalom. So if you live around there, it should be one of those once-in-a-lifetime evenings that I hope maybe I'll meet some of you in person. And this song is a new one. I've been part of a Write a Song a Week challenge, which I'm still in, called Real People, Real Songs, which you can find on your favorite social media. If you put those words into any Google search, you'll find it. And I'm one of the many songwriters doing this song a week. So we got a prompt, harmony, and it was surprisingly hard for me to write a song about harmony. I didn't want to be trite in any way. And then I realized, and also because of the timing, it was 1 month into the 100 days of the current administration. I was like, I don't feel like writing about harmony right now. But as you'll hear, many echoes of all of the themes came into the song. including the chorus line, which is learning to turn harm into harmony. So thank you, Betsy, for inviting me. Thank you, Matt, for inspiring all of the juices to flow. Thank you for all of that stuff about the seeds, which not only echoed for me the Central American call, I believe, but I think it might have come from an author whose name I don't know initially, and then got used a lot in activism. You know, they tried to bury us. They didn't know we were seeds. That came to mind several times listening to you. And the mythic is everything in your song, Betsy. I just have to take a moment to respond, because that thing about the ancient seeds in us, part of that is the mythic imagination. It is the reason why anytime we hear an old story that was not created by an individual but by peoples over millennia, that something in us wakes up. That's part of how we can stay awoke, awakened, woke, etc. Sing with me if you like. Here's the chorus. Harmony, each plays a part. Harmony, sung from the heart. Or I'll just do that one. Harmony, each plays a part. Harmony, sung from the heart. Next two lines. Harmony, because we can learn to turn harm into harmony. Harmony, because we can learn to turn harm into harmony. When the heart starts to suffer, there's a truth can break through. And when times grow rougher, there's one thing we can do. Midst the harsh winds of hatred and the floods of our fear, there's a sound that brings kindness to all who can hear. Harmony, each plays a part. Harmony, sung from the heart. Harmony, because we can learn to turn harm into harmony. That's what Matt's doing. It's pretty damn exciting. When there's worry and sorrow, there's a truth we can keep. When we can't see tomorrow, there's a song in our sleep. Midst the firestorms of anger and the dangers of greed, there's a sound that brings comfort to strangers in need. Harmony, each plays a part. Harmony, sung from the heart. Harmony, because we can learn to turn harm into harmony. Harmony, harmony, sung from the heart. Harmony, we can learn to turn harm into harmony. Learn to turn harm into. 'Cause harmony
I love that. Turn harm into harmony. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Judith Kate. Beautiful songs, beautiful messages. What a night. I can't believe it. Somebody wrote the three of us are quite a combination, and I think it's true. I think it's a nice mix. Anyway, oh God, I would love to do one more song, but I know we've gone over, and so we're going to just take a breath and let it be. What are you saying? Go ahead. You're saying, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do my song because this is a brand new song. I just wrote it last week, and doggone it, you can leave if you need to. I will just say that somebody asked, how can we donate to Matt and Riley's work? And we hadn't thought of that, but I do have a very strong commitment to paying my guests, and I do that whether y'all donate or not, but I'd love it if you donate. So if you want to throw in even a little extra, we'll make sure that Matt gets a little more. That as I say, we elders really do need to help support our young folks who've got a lot of uncertainty ahead. Okay, friends, this is my closing. Just give me 1 second. I want to plug my microphone back in for the sake of the quality of the sound. And thank you for staying a little extra. It's been so great. So this song is a little short kind of condensation of how I see what's going on right now. This is how I see the situation we're in. And there's a line in it that says there's a sword of destruction that cuts through delusion. That is the sword of Kali, the great Hindu goddess of destruction. And you think, oh, destruction, but it's necessary. Just like Matt said, those grasses need to get chewed down in order to rebirth, in order for the new grasses to come up. And sometimes empires need to be taken down so that the fresh new ways we've been trying to build for so long have some room to breathe. So we're in a time of destruction, but there's also the possibility of something being born, and it's not pretty. Birth, I've been a doula and I've given birth. It's not pretty. It's messy. It's hard. But it's sometimes the only way to get a baby out. And this world really needs a new baby way of being together. That the old ways are, well, you'll see, the song says it. So this is called Birthing a New World. Sing to me of the great turning. Oh, you can put the words in the chat. Sing to me of the great turning. My heart is filled with a great yearning to see past the chaos to a future unfurling and know we are birthing a new world. That's the chorus. Let's sing it. Sing to me of the great turning. Sing to me of the great turning. My heart is filled with a great yearning to see past the chaos to a future unfurling and know we are birthing a new world. Know we are birthing and know we are birthing a new world. There's a sword of destruction that cuts through delusion, leaves fear and confusion as it all comes undone. Towers are crumbling, old ways are crumbling, all in the service of what's being born. So sing to me, so sing to me of the great turning. My heart is filled with a great yearning to see past the chaos to a future unfurling and know we are birthing a new world. Know we are birthing. Know we are birthing a new world. There's a sword of destruction that cuts through delusion, Anxiety's fear and confusion as it all comes undone. Towers are tumbling, old ways are crumbling, all in the service of what's being born. So sing to me of the great turning. My heart, it is filled with a great yearning to see past the chaos to a future unfurling, and know we are birthing a new world, and know we are birthing a new world. And that is our lullaby for tonight. And I want to thank you. I want to thank Eve. Eve, thank you so much for all that chat posting, all that spotlighting. Thank you so much. Big props to Eve from New Mexico. Big props to Judith Kate, who's really just so amazing. I'm going to have you back, Kate. Judith Kate, we got a lot more to sing about together. Please feel free to hang around for a little while. Matt may or may not hang around. Judith Kate, you're welcome to stay. And here we are all together. And for those that need to go, bye-bye. Thank you. Blessings. Take good care of your good hearts.
I gotta run. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, everyone.
Great to meet you again, Matt. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
you too, Kate. It's been a pleasure.
Yay.
Thank you, Betsy. Betsy, let's give her props.